of the tournament. The back check by the Finns right to the net. Team USA, Drury had the stick right into his hip. So Nieminen was holding up Drury, and the USA gets themselves a power play, Pierre.
John, you know, this Salo injury could be more important in terms of Team USA being successful because the U.S. are now playing a shoot-in and retrieval game. They've had 7 shoot-ins so far in this period, and that could wear the Finnish defense down, so watch for that to be a factor going forward here.
Yeah, they do have 7 dressed, so they do have a replacement part. Salo now is going to the locker room on his own.
Here's the feed back to Brian Ralston on this power play. Set up further for the play to be made in the corner. Work back to the outside and has to be regathered now. Brought back on by Drury, spun in front and it ricocheted wide. The try by Conroy. Settled down by Tkachuk, plays it back on for Ralston again. Shifts one that ricocheted off the referee and is cleared back down. 40 killed by Finland. Antti Jussi Niemi, 77, is the extra defenseman that they can use. But what a day for Vancouver. First Oland and then Salo.
And Salo went to the locker room. Niemi hasn't played much and did not take any of the line rushes in warm-up prior to the game. He wears number 77. You were telling me he wanted 99?
Well, he was first listed on the roster here as wearing number 99. And I think, well, I think he just learned the situation. In North America, 99 is not worn. And this isn't North America, but there's a lot of influence
I don't think it's worn too much over here either. So the Finns have the 1-goal lead. There is 7 minutes and 3 seconds remaining here in the second period, and we'll see if number 77 gets any ice time in place of Salo. I think Salo was the best defenseman, maybe the best player on the ice in the first period, along with Peltonen, and those are the 2 players that ran into each other.
A rocket of a shot by Salo, shorthanded. Got Finland a 2-0 lead. Team USA equaled that. But then the power play goal by Jokinen broke the tie in this period, and that's where it still is. 42 to go on the power play. Brian Rafalski at the point, turns it back on now to Gomez. Has Doug Weight nearby, gives back to Rafalski. Then back to Gomez once again. Doug Weight to the outside. Gianta near the front of the net. Weight draws one of the Finns to him, but doesn't have a lane because of it. Then twisting, still holding. Gomez right back to Weight. 20 seconds left power play. Rafalski hurries one. It's popped high. Weight moves in for it. Poked away by Niittymaki and grabbed by Rafalski again. Then Gomez sent back around and Weight run off by Ludman. With the help of Gianta, he gets it back. Doug Weight to the outside. 3 seconds left power play. Weight to the back. Rafalski a shot, and that hit a leg and went wide as Aki Berg got a piece of it. Then forehands it back off. No shots on goal in that power play for the United States, but they continue to work. Around it comes to Gomez. Challenge from Ludman. Plopped back on, and Ville Nieminen, fresh from the box, lifts it but not out. Leopold a shot turned aside by Niittymaki. Olli Jokinen gets it there. Has a man breaking Nieminen, trying to get it to him. Nieminen charging back in. Shrugs Leopold out of the way. Hit by Darian Hatcher. Puck turned over to the United States, but up for grabs again. Nieminen trying to finesse his way through. Difficult job, but he got it done. Then on to Koivu. Flip one. Couldn't be grabbed by DiPietro. Scramble at the front. Oh, and DiPietro poked it away. Penalty coming up.
Nieminen is going to go again. Came out of the penalty box, played an active shift. Took Leopold out of the play, then got nailed by Hatcher, and then with his exuberance went to the front of the net and ended up tackling somebody, or at least grabbing a hold of somebody in front. There's Hatcher with a hit, and Nieminen won't stop. He keeps going, but watch him go to the front of the net. And when he gets to the front, he wants to clear everybody out and open up some room for his teammates, and there he tackles his man down to the ice, I think was Hatcher. Now at the other end of the ice, Doug Weight was on the puck the whole time. Finding somebody open is a hard thing to do. That shot deflected. Oh, baby, that might have been going in had it not hit the defenseman Berg in the leg and ricocheted wide.
Boy, every game is a battle of wills and also a character test. Can you lure the other team out of character? Finland has been so disciplined. Team USA has had some things going for it, but in this period hasn't been able to generate offense again. But perhaps by the power play they might be helped. Although moving in and letting a shot go was Hagman. A shorthanded chance, and that shot ricocheted loudly off the boards wide. So now Modano. 4:45 to go in the Second period of this one as Brian Ralston tries to move in and can't. Turn back over to Saku Koivu. Has Lettinen and Timonen with him. Tries to force it to the front and defended away by Schneider, but illegally there'll be a penalty coming up.
I think it's Matthew Schneider's going to go. It's another hooking call. Team USA's power play can't get it going here. This is Ralston on the puck. And see how he's forced by Timonen, who's a terrific player. And now Koivu just looks and says, you know what, I'm going to go to the net. And in doing so, draws a penalty. And actually, it's Tkachuk on the far side, not Schneider. My apologies. So Peter Laviolette looking down the bench, trying to find combinations. We'll have 4-on-4 action here for a minute 11.
Jokinen and Peltonen will be out there working, and they have posted Lutman at one point and Nummelen at the other. 4 against 4. It is brought back in by Brett Hedican. Hedican played it along now for Jason Blake. Good hit on him by Lutman. Jokinen in, but it's hurried away from him by Conroy. Across and a shot. It's fought off by Nidimaki from the stick of Brett Hedican.
And Jokinen was there to cover the rebound. Nice play by him.
Now Rafalski gaining the zone for Team USA. 38 left of the 4 against 4, and then a power play will be coming up for Finland, but icing is called. At times, Finland out of character, as when they were taking the penalties. At times, Team USA out of character, too.
Both sides. Niittymaki last winter played for the Philadelphia Phantoms, the farm team in the American Hockey League for the Flyers, and they won the championship. And he was named the MVP, so he's used to pressure. I think he's a calm-looking goaltender when he does play, as the referee's over checking out I think the gate at the Team USA bench, Mike. There's a problem, and they're trying to use, look at that. If it doesn't work, use a bigger hammer. Bill Garrett using the end of his hockey stick to try to work the latch, which is a problem. They're going to have to get somebody out to fix it, I think. And that's happened here in this building. Once before it was the other bench. You can't work your door properly. That means you can't make line changes properly. So the maintenance man out there, he's got a proper hammer, it looks like, trying to fix it.
We try to have the answers to everything. We don't know if this becomes a union job, and if Bill Guerin is going to have a grievance filed against him, but he's big enough to take it. The last team to be placed after the preliminary round, Sweden, is the first to qualify for the semifinals with a win over Switzerland, 6-2.
Congratulations to Switzerland for playing a great tournament. Their goal was to make the top 8. They did that. They were the giant killers, knocking off some very good clubs, the Czech Republic and Canada, in the preliminary round.
Timonen a shot out of the glove of DiPietro, shovels it right back ahead, and we're down to the last 15 seconds of the 4 against 4. Teppo Numminen sends it back. Nicely nudged back across for the carry on by Lettinen. Deals his way off and then deals it back in deep. Saku Koivu there, buried by Matthew Schneider, and that'll cost. And just as the Finnish penalty ends, it'll be 50 seconds of a 5 against 3 for Finland.
Paul Dvorsky has to make the call. There's no doubt about it. This will be another 5-on-3, the second in the period. Koivu goes first. Schneider uses the stick and shoves him down. It's got to be called. And especially with Koivu facing the boards. So Koivu has taken 2 penalties in this game, and he has drawn a couple of big ones. And now, with a 1-goal lead, late in the second period, the Finns have a chance to hammer one in here and really make it difficult for Team USA.
Important first face-off win for Craig Conroy. He and Leopold and Hatcher are the Iron 3 for the United States. Timonen brings it ahead, has Olli Jokinen nearby, peels off Jokinen to the front of the net. Timonen holding it there, back to Teppo Numminen. Watched by Conroy, hands to Timonen. Worked in deep, Solani out in front, oh, and the shot popped high in the air, off the top of the net, and then bounces down and in.
And it's still a power play for the Finns. There was 20 seconds left to go on the Tkachuk penalty. This was some save by DiPietro, Mike. I mean, a fantastic save, but a puck went up, hit the crossbar, dropped in front, and Peltonen is there again. Jokinen in front. DiPietro has to find the puck. Great pass, good save, and look at there. Peltonen straddled the goal line, waited for the puck to come down. It has to be below the crossbar, is it? Yes. It was about 1.5 feet off the ice when he tapped it in. he has played a great game to this point here late this afternoon. Peltonen came out at the early scoring chances and has had now his second goal of the game.
Third time he has been on the Olympic team for Finland. This is game number 20 for him. And Billy Peltonen, coming into this contest today, had 7 Olympic goals, so make that 9. The important first one halfway through the first period, and the one that has given his team a 2-goal lead back. And as John mentioned, still some time, 1 minute 20 seconds as of right now on the 5 against 4.
Well, the moral of this period, or the moral of the story this period, is the specialty teams. Team USA's power play wasn't good enough, and they took a lot of bad penalties, and that has really put them into a fix.
This is Blake tapping it back in and coming to the bench, another change. Well, the variances in character have gone against Team USA. Late in the period, it looked as Finland was out of sorts. They even took a penalty, Saku Koivu, for high sticking at the end of the period. Now moving ahead for Team USA, it's fed across by Eric Cole, and that blocked and started back the other way. Turning on is Olli Jokinen. He's got Peltonen looking for the hat trick, and it's blocked away by Chelios in a strong defensive play. Now Hatcher across to Chelios again, and he'll chew up some more time for Team USA as we're down to the last half minute of this penalty kill. Long pass brought on by Nummelen. Nummelen fed it across, and shanking the shot was Saku Koivu, and it spiked on back Conroy. He picks up Leopold. Conroy, a shot deflected up into the mesh.
Oh, this is wild. Just wild. As we had the two teams trading 2-on-1s. We had 4 of them in a very short period of time, but we didn't get any really good goal scoring chances as the teams didn't finish. We had 4 of them in 30 seconds. And I think that's what Team USA wants now, but they've got to find a way to finish. They're down by 2. If they get one on their 2-on-1s, they're back in the game. And the Finns don't want to open it up like that. That's not their game.
Here's Blake. Then Numminen. Then it's brought on by Kimmo Timonen. Handed to center ice, Saku Koivu. Up the wing now for Teemu Selanne, but it's offside with 1 minute 16 to go in the second period. Yeah, Finland's game has been scoring occasionally and holding the other team to practically nothing. Team USA has gotten a couple. Coming into today, Finland had played 5 games and yielded only 2, and those were both power play goals.
And it seems to me they're still going with just the 5 defensemen. The Finns, after losing Salo to what appeared to be a shoulder problem earlier in this period.
Timonen again. Teams are at full strength. Laid back for Ruutu, knifed ahead now and brought on by Scott Gomez. Gomez looking for Rafalski, got it to him. A shot is blocked off by Ruutu.
Good play by Ruutu. Played it really well. The Finns want this badly, blocking shots, trying to play smart defensively. Took penalties early, Mike, but then Team USA's penalties in the second period has really hurt.
So grit school in Calgary has paid off for them, not only in this tournament, but in recent international tournaments. Fed to the outside now, and it's controlled by Kapanen. Around behind for a little backhander that wafted free off Laaksonen, and then is laid back out to center by Brian Giunta. 25 to go in the period. Ruutu with a pass ahead. Brought back on now by Jokinen. Jussi Jokinen's shot is handled by DiPietro. 9 shots to 4 in this period. An attempt by Mike Modano doesn't get there. In the way was Aki Berg. Team USA chases this one down in the person of Schneider. Matthew Schneider had the lone Team USA goal in that period. It comes at 1:29 and gave Team USA hope because they had a tie. Then Finland has wrested control of the game back through the first 2 periods now. 4-2.
2 lovely for them 5-on-3 opportunities, 2 long ones. What a difference that has made.
So Team Finland slaps backs as they walk off. Seem to be inspired by what's happened through the first 2. Studio and interviews coming up after this. Couple power play goals broke a 2-2 tie on the part of Finland. They have the lead 4-2 going into the third period. Take a look at the statistics in the contest. The power play for Finland is 2 for 5. The scoring chances doubled. The shots almost doubled. Team USA has always been good in faceoffs in this tournament, but that vaporizes in significance now as the third period is about to start. Team USA is trailing by 2. Pierre?
You know what? Between periods, I was down by the U.S. bench, and Chris Chelios came off the ice and shattered his stick, basically obliterated his stick over the sideboards, and he was looking with a fierce face at all his teammates, basically challenging them to be better. He's frustrated with the selfish penalties, and I think John and Mike, more than anything else, he's frustrated with a little bit of lack of effort, I think he perceives, because Chris Chelios is playing an unbelievable game for the Americans here this afternoon.
Well, through the preliminaries, if you had to pick 3 of the best players for Team USA, he would be one of them. I think in my mind he would be the best defenseman, because if you're up here and watching, very little goes wrong if it's on Chelios' side of the ice. And when he has the puck, things tend to go right the other way, back to the other end.
And he's also been hit hard a couple of times, Mike, and he's rebounded from it. 44 years of age. And he's a warrior, and he knows right now that this may be his last period ever played wearing the U.S. jersey playing in the Olympics. He wants to win badly. Badly. 1 goal and they're back in it. We'll see if the effort's there against a really good system. Remember, Team USA has only had 12 shots on goal through 2 periods, and that includes 5 power play opportunities.
Solani.
The Finns can shut you down. Sorry, Mike.
I beg your pardon. Solani, Koivu, and Lehtinen start the period for Team Finland. And it is the Hatcher and Leopold matchup for Team USA back on defense. Chris Drury and Mike Knuble are part of Team USA, and Eric Cole, who settles this one down. Here's Cole with a wrist shot that is blocked off by the defense of Teppo Numminen. Played back in by Solani. To the bench he comes as both teams are changing lines. Darian Hatcher lobs it ahead, brought on by Gianta, and a save made by Niittymaki.
A couple of nice passes up ice for Team USA, and Brian Gianta, a terrific skater. He was able to find a way to get the shot. Here's Hatcher, looking, waiting, and boom, a good pass through the screen. And Niittymaki again, and I keep saying it, boy, he makes calm saves in net. No panic at goal for the Finns.
Brought back by Gomez, sent across for Chelios, but it was outside and whacked back in, delayed offside, but that wipe now as Team USA has cleared the zone. Chelios and Schneider, the defense. Ralston out with Brian Gianta and Scott Gomez. So the line is back together again from the preliminary game against Russia last night. For 2 periods, they tried Keith Tkachuk on that line, but now they go with Ralston. Nudged ahead now for Gianta. Came through. Ralston, a blast, and it's paddled away by Niittymaki. Then Scott Gomez has Schneider. Curls with it and got it back to him. Settled down by Schneider. Poked back further, but lifted along and out to center. Spike back off Billy Nieminen, and a shift change for Team USA.
So first couple of shots to Team USA, so that at least at the beginning of this third period, with everything on the line, down by 2 goals, it's a good start for them.
Hedican and Rafalski the defense now. Keith Tkachuk watches as this play comes ahead from Conroy, then on to Doug Waite. Waite tried to trickle one through. Conroy centers when it went off Tkachuk. Hedican a shot, and that one blocked, and everyone looking for it. It was underneath Ole Jokinen. Tucked back to Rafalski, a shot knocked down at the front.
New defenseman getting some ice time. That was him. Niemi playing here in the third. They do not have Salo back.
Turned back over near Doug Waite. Knocked the stick out of the hands of Aki Berg. Meanwhile, it is played along and all the way back by Brett Hedican, and it goes for an icing. A scrappy start, a rest for Team USA, and then coming out strong here in the third. But the question is, how much fuel is in the tank? You mentioned 1 goal, and it's a game again. 1 goal the other way, and that could take care and put them on fumes.
You know, it's interesting. I was talking to Doug Waite prior to this tournament. He talked about playing for Herb Brooks in the past, the late Herb Brooks, and he said Herb had a saying, the legs are the wolf. The legs are the wolf. In other words, hunt down loose pucks, hunt down the opposition players and hit them, but the legs have to do it. Right now, they need to find their legs and keep going like they have over the first little bit here of this third period. Somebody touches the puck here, it's going to be a whistle, and finally Cole did. So it's I think a puck touch with a high stick, so it'll come all the way back. The Finnish player smart enough not to touch the puck with Cole right there.
Well, you look at all the credentials that Team Finland had coming into this. Not just the numbers, but the way that they had dominated teams and shut down any big offensive lines the other teams had. I mean, they took care of Canada. They took care of the Czech Republic. Didn't allow them a goal.
Well, Team USA battled back here and got 2 goals to tie the game up. And then you wondered, were they going to be able to go ahead? But instead, the penalties. The penalties hurt Team USA. No question about that, Mike.
Matt Schneider's pass is flagged down by Loxanen, but taken away by Chris Drury. Handed across, brought on by Eric Cole. Shoots one that's deflected wide as Loxanen caught up to him. And then Antti Loxanen of the Colorado Avalanche wrestled off by Cole. Jostling continues. Mike Knuble up the boards. Punched on along and away from the reach of John Michael Lyles, and so it's Schneider on back again. Schneider and Lyles the defense. Drury now coming to the bench as they make a change. Once more trying to keep those legs fresh. Brought ahead by Lyles. Pass ricocheted off Scott Gomez. Jammed away from Ralston and brought on by Jere Lehtinen. Dallas Star brings it ahead and gives on to Solani. Solani cruising around behind, tried the wraparound, but lost the puck first. Solani again, and that went off Gomez. Lehtinen had it taken away by Gomez. Starts out, he's got Ralston on the left, Gianta on the right. Gives back over to Ralston. Fed one, Gianta in front, Gomez deflected around, they fight away, and they can't get it home. Oh my, solid play by Nidibaki.
A couple of things happened here. The 3-on-2 was a wide open 3-on-2 as everybody was trapped for Finland. And then Solani on the back check. What a skater he is at 35 years of age. Remarkable back check. Puck got to the front of the net, and Niittymaki had to hang on because it was being jammed away, jammed at, and a puck wouldn't go over the line. Lehtinen, Solani, and Koivu were on the ice, and you see Solani with that silky smooth play, but he lost control of the puck.
Brought back ahead by Nicholas Hagman, and offside is called.
Team USA, Mike, they're working to find something here in this third period. And if you find odd man rushes at this level, you've got to be able to score. You got to be able to finish. That's why Russia was able to beat Team USA last night. They capitalized on their odd man rushes. Team USA's earning them here in the third period. Can't finish. Not yet, anyway.
It was helter-skelter late in the second. There were 4 2-on-1 breaks, all of those occurring odd man rushes in 30 seconds of playing time, 2 aside. But the finish wasn't coming, either from the finish or from the Americans. Brought ahead by Olli Jokinen, who's had the last 2 goals. He was credited with the one that was actually directed in inadvertently by goalkeeper Rick DiPietro. It was just a crazily bouncing puck that went off the top of the net and then struck him. Drive by Blake is blocked aside by Niittymaki. Rafalski with a shot, and that one blocked away by Jussi Jokinen. Chopped on by Pelton and kept by Rafalski. A shot deflected wide by Bill Guerin.
Peter Laviolette obviously has told his team, shoot the puck. Every time you get a chance, enough with being too fancy. Get the shot on net. That shot by Guerin, or Blake, make that Blake, was a hard shot. Niittymaki was there again.
Racing on is Drury. Hands it across for the backhander by Knuble that spiked away. Drury tried to punch it away, but no sale there from Kimmo Timonen. He flops one ahead that careened all the way back, and DiPietro watches as Matthew Schneider twists it around behind to Chris Chelios.
Accident on the ice. You talk about grit learned by the Finns. He went to Denver University. Learned a little bit there.
Chelios got in the way of that one. Couple of shoulders thrown. And Schneider will retreat to play for the United States. 14 and a half to go in regulation time. In the quarterfinals, they get a winner. It is a 2-goal advantage for Finland. If they win this, they move on to play the winner of Canada-Russia. Chelios, big blast. Sweden will play the winner of Czech Republic and Slovakia in the semifinals. They have already prevailed over Switzerland 6-2. Saku Koivu has to wait and finesse can't. Hatcher starts it ahead for Chelios, but we have a player injured.
I don't know who that is. Is that Solani? I think I see an 8. Darian Hatcher had the puck and moved the puck up ice, and then I saw Solani down, sliding into the boards, and he had both hands over his helmet and visor. Hatcher's on the puck. Is it a follow-through play? Yes, it is. He moved the puck up ice, and his follow-through caught Solani, and there's no question that's an accidental play. I mean, he was just trying to move the puck up. See the U.S. player way in the background there? He was trying to move it quick. Solani reached in with a stick, had his face exposed, and the blade of the stick must have caught Solani underneath the visor, below the visor. He's up and seems to be okay. And the linesman may have called something here.
Team USA really annoyed at this call. It's going to be a penalty call, and Chris Chelios was yelling in the direction of Paul Dvorsky as there's been a high sticking call, and the United States is protesting that it was on the follow-through by Hatcher.
It's the linesman that called it, Mike. No way Dvorsky called this. The linesman makes the call. Chelios is trying to talk to him right now. They want to know, and I don't know. There's no question about it that Chelios is talking to the linesman. The linesman made the call, and that means it's got to be a major.
Boy, oh boy, it's a follow-through only, and that's the curious thing about it. It is 4 minutes of power play time for Finland with 14:01 to go in the third, and Darian Hatcher is in the box.
I think it's a Slovakian linesman that called it. Masik made the call. It wasn't Miller and it wasn't Dvorsky. It's a Slovakian linesman that made the call, Pierre.
Bang on, John. That's exactly right. Milan Masik made the call from Slovakia. Stephen Miller is a lineman that's about to drop the puck right now, but that was just a follow-through. That should not have been a penalty.
Angled on back now by Blake. Whoa, a long kill for Team USA. They're already down by 2. Swatted on by Leopold, and Finland chases back. Olli Jokinen gave it back across, handed back over for the carry on by Ludman. A shot fought off by DiPietro. Rebound, and he got that one too, and then it popped free.
Tony Ludman plays for the Buffalo Sabres and is having a great season. Another one of those defensemen for Finland having a great season. Now look at him just move in. He goes in himself, finds the rebound and gets it. And DiPietro, once he let the rebound get away from him, had to really battle to make a second save. It used to be Lidman. He's now called Ludman, which is the proper way of saying his name.
It's interesting what we learn after a guy's been in the league half a decade, isn't it?
The Europeans come in. I remember when there was Mironov and Mironov. They were brothers. Each one of them wanted it said differently. And they're brothers.
Weren't the Caberlets the same way?
Caberlaw
and Caberlet.
Yeah.
And originally, it was Teemu Selänne when he arrived in Winnipeg. And after a while, everyone was anglicizing it to Solani, and so he just said, okay. Good hit by Eric Cole in this shorthanded situation. First minute and 5 seconds have been killed off, and Cole, a whirling dervish, now comes to the bench for a change. Handed on to Solani. Sent one in front that is deflected away by Leopold before he could get there. He was trying to connect with Koivu. Koivu has it now. Then Numminen back across for a pass in front that's just away from Solani by Koivu. Onto the back, Timonen again. Gives back to Teppo Numminen. Back to Timonen once more. Angles for Koivu. Looks to Lehtinen. Opposite side, he's got Solani, and it's there for the drive that's saved by DiPietro, and he's able to cover. 2:20 to go in the kill.
Good battle by Team USA, trying to kill the double minor. Solani had a little problem. He had a cut near one of his front teeth and on the lip there. He's the player that drew the double minor. So DiPietro had to come up big. There's still 2:20 to go. DiPietro's really square to the shooter, makes a nice save, able to hang on. Not long before these Olympics began, DiPietro watched the movie Miracle just to get himself pumped up, and he's earned the spot to be the #1 goaltender. By the way, Michael Ruzioni is here in attendance.
Winning goal scored 26 years ago today in the delightful little town of Lake Placid, New York. Forehand pass in front, went off of DiPietro. Numminen brushed one, it's knifed down. Chris Drury trying to get away, moving in, down to the ice he goes, and what'll the call be? Delayed call right now. Knuble around behind. 5 criteria for a penalty shot. Do we have it or not?
I haven't seen a signal. Yes, I have. Penalty to Teppo Numminen. Nice try, Mike.
I just like penalty shots.
I know you do.
We've only had 2 in the
what
Olympics,
are the 5?
and we didn't get a
What are the 5 criteria?
Possession of the puck, clear of the red line. No one between the attacker and the goalkeeper. Foul from behind. Denied reasonable scoring opportunity.
And what do you think of that replay? It could have been a penalty shot.
5 for 5 in my mind, but
Newmanen was there tight with him, almost parallel, but
Very
4.5.
close, yeah.
4.5 out of 5.
Well, that's good enough.
Yeah.
Paul Dvorsky then made the right call. You convinced me.
Yeah.
Well,
So
the
now-
important thing is
yeah.
now it's 4 against
Right.
4.
1:57 to go on the Hatcher double minor. And here we go.
That part of the ship seems to have been righted, but the other side is the scoreboard. Still a problem there by 2 goals. Lyles can't get that one. Brought back ahead for a pass to Hagman, and he couldn't control from his skate to his stick. Now Hagman tried to fight to the front. That didn't work. So they'll just play it all the way down, and Niittymaki will handle there.
Eric Cole with some good shifts here. Played some junior hockey in Des Moines, Iowa for 1 season. He's had some good energetic shifts here in the last 2 or 3 minutes.
He has been a force, a member of Peter Laviolette's Carolina Hurricanes.
You know, when the season fires up again, the Hurricanes play the Boston Bruins. One of the assistant coaches here is Mike Sullivan, head coach of the Boston Bruins.
So they'll go from sharing secrets to keeping them.
There you go.
Brought ahead now by Jokinen. Olli Jokinen going for the hat trick, floated that wide, and it would have been a natural had he gotten it. Now Brian Rafalski. Chipped across by Doug Waite. Still 4-on-4 for another 50 seconds. DiPietro came out, draws a man to him, spirits a pass ahead that is collared by Waite. Waite bringing it on for the United States, hands it on back, controlled by Rafalski. Flipped one in front that went off a leg. Lofted on, settled down by Rafalski, but brought back on by Team Finland. Jokinen dropped it back off. Peltonen brings it ahead, left the puck behind, and so offside is called.
32 seconds to go on the Finnish penalty and 28 seconds to go on Team USA's penalty. There's 10 minutes and 29 seconds left in this third period.
Players on Team USA and Team Finland undoubtedly oblivious to the fact that today is the first day for the resumption of NHL practices. Don't imagine there'll be hard ones most places today.
No.
They get their gangs back together again to resume the season as early as next Tuesday.
I think players want to get back on the ice, but they don't want to jump into it and have a hard practice the first day. You worry about injury.
Around to the outside, it's Conroy with it. Conroy shanked one off the leg of Niemi. Swept on back, Schneider crisply over to Chelios. Drive into the catching glove of Niittymaki.
So number 77, the defenseman has a regular shift here in this third period after Sami Salo was injured. There's Niemi. Sami Salo, really a good defenseman and had really played well. Here in the first period, he was a dominant player. Bumped into by his own man, went down awkwardly, and we think hurt a shoulder. And that'll be a blow to the Finns, a big blow, if they go on in the rest of this tournament.
Puck dropped unfairly on the faceoff. You mentioned earlier that Matthias Ohlund had a rough day for the Team Sweden.
He was hit from behind by De La Rosa, I think, in Switzerland. It went really hard into the boards, and Gianta just took a penalty, I think. It's a hooking call. Puck was in the corner. Ludman, number 32, the defenseman, was there working. And a hooking call against Gianta. And Team USA, time's winding down when you have to find a way to get goals, and there's the hook. Oh, he pulled Ludman right down. That's a penalty here. It's a penalty in the NHL, and it's behind the other team's net. That's not going to help you get back into the game.
Pierre?
You know what's interesting, fellas? We're talking about the prowess of the Finns and how well they're playing. Think about the roster. If they had Sammy Paulson, Jani Pitkanen, Kari Lehtinen, Antti Miettinen, and even Mika Kiprusoff. This is a country with only 5.5 million people. The development programs in Finland are spectacular. And you see it here in the skill level, and the speed, and the pride. Look at Teemu Selanne after he gets cracked in the mouth. Doesn't even miss his regular shifts, comes right back. These guys play with a whole lot of pride and a lot of jam.
You know, Pierre, their head coach.
Oh, a chance there for Conroy, and that blocked aside. Eventually played by Jason Blake in a shot. That one fought off. Conroy behind. We'll get back to that subject in a moment. Rafalski angles one. Oh, and a save by Niittymaki on the deflection of Jason Blake. And all of that shorthanded.
Wow.
Jokinen hands it across. Petteri Nummelen brings it ahead, shakes it over. Lehtinen gets back in. Jari Lehtinen of the Dallas Stars laid it around. Jokinen plays it back. Florida Panther got it on to Lehtinen, but he's sealed up. Darian Hatcher got there, but then it's fed back to Numminen. Back on now for Jussi Jokinen. Numminen, a shot, save! Rebound hopped there and was wheeled back down by Blake.
Well, the biggest save on this power play goes to Niittymaki on Blake on the deflection of the Rafalski play. One goal by Team USA would change the complexion of this third period.
A spike down by Drury. Has a man moving up. It's Mike Knuble. Knuble tried to return. Racing back with it is Saku Koivu. He's got Solani breaking. Couldn't get it there. Good back-checking job done by Matthew Schneider, the defenseman. Walked back on, dealt behind by Timonen. Played there by Teemu Solani. Tried to get it out to Lehtinen. Still the puck battled for behind. Chris Chelios protects. Double team there. Still sparring and has it in his skates and then floats it on to Schneider. Some good defense played by Chelios there. And it's sent off Niemi and all the way back out with 5 seconds left on the kill to the Giunta penalty. The shots on this Finnish power play are 2-1 in favor of Team USA as Giunta is out, and the clock is down to the last 7:50 of regulation time. Nieminen back for that, but getting there first is Brett Hedican. Bouncer came on back again for John Michael Lyles, crisply onto Cole. Wiped out though. And so Finland shifts it on back, and this will careen back down. And DiPietro decides to come out. Icing, nope, we have a stoppage of play in there. Yes, it is called an icing, I beg your pardon.
And the Team USA on the penalty kill had 2 shots. Rafalski set up Blake, who was left wide open in front. Look at all the Finns, 4 of them on the left side of the ice. Niittymaki read it beautifully. Good little kick save, real good kick save by Niittymaki. This is Cole, or Knuble. A blind pass picked off by Koivu. And Matthew Schneider does a great job here on the back check as Solani was driving to the net.
Lyles kept play alive. A penalty coming up, and it's going to be against the United States.
I have not seen much of Keith Tkachuk in this period. He's on the ice, and he may, yes, I think he may have just gotten this penalty. We haven't seen much of Mike Modano this period either, Mike.
No.
Tripping call to Team USA. Tkachuk takes a penalty in the offensive zone, deep once again.
There may be more. Scott Gomez wheeled the puck in the direction of one of the linesmen, and there may be something to him coming out of this too. He's turned his palms up. He said, what? But he said, I was just clearing it along, but, well, anyway.
Well, Tkachuk tripped up Hagman. He reached out, pulled his feet out. It's a bad penalty. The Team USA, I mean, and now it looks like Gomez is going. Does he get 2 or does he get 10? I don't know. But the penalties, the discipline level of Team USA has just gone right out the window. Yeah. No question about it, Mike. We can't at all sugarcoat that. You can't take hooking penalties. Giunta took one. Tkachuk just took another one. Now we have Gomez in the box, and he's not up on the board, so he must have gotten 10.
Well, in a way, that may have been a gift because it prevents a 5-on-3. Though Team USA is without Gomez, brought this on themselves. Shot is into Niittymaki, and he holds on with 7:03 to go in the third period.
And we know that Peter Laviolette and his staff preach to their team, be careful because the Finns play discipline. They play discipline for the full 60 minutes. Be disciplined for 60 minutes. It hasn't happened, Pierre.
Well, you know, John, you talked about Tkachuk not playing very often. That was his first shift of the third period. And another key point, remember what we were talking about with Chelios at the end of the second period. He was frustrated. Tkachuk was one of those guys that took a penalty in the second period. So you're absolutely right, gentlemen. The big problem for the Americans, lack of discipline against a very disciplined and structured team from Finland.
It is forced behind by Rafalski and taken by Eric Cole. Lehtinen out there, as well as Teemu Solani and Saku Koivu. Koivu is 1 assist away from being the most prominent Finnish hockey player in Olympic history. We're going to get a penalty coming up. Looks like this is going to be against Finland.
Koivu.
And Koivu sort of wilts at the shoulders, and he'll come off.
Third minor of the game he's taken. And, you know, Eric Cole did a great job. I mean, the Finns are on the power play. They don't want to get trapped. And Cole stood behind the net, waited, and finally broke out and made something happen. And when Cole made something happen, Koivu ended up taking a penalty. And there's the head coach again, as you're looking there, of this Finnish team. He's not only in charge, Mike, of this Finnish team, as you see Cole there, he made it all happen. There's the penalty. But the head coach of this team, Erica Westerlund, he also is the boss of the entire national program for Finland. So you see the way they've moved along here and how they play, which at times can be boring because it's defensive, but it works for them. And their whole program is structured well.
Here's Lyles' a shot, and that one blocked down. Chelios able to protect and keep play alive. Fed back on for Drury. Couldn't center, but is able to recover anyway on the 4-on-4. Under 6 minutes to go. Check that. Chelios back for a shot by Blake, and that one turned aside by Niittymaki. Blake fed one to the back. Chelios there, fakes the drive. Now shoots. Save Niittymaki.
Niittymaki comes up big for his club. They have the 2-goal lead. Time running out, and Jason Blake, Chris Chelios, they do some good stuff here. A lot of motion by Team USA. Boy, in front, that Niemi just tackled his man down, and there's Chelios after the save was made by Niittymaki. He wants it badly. He's tried hard. He's played very well, but on that shift they couldn't score.
Outlet pass came to Antti Laaksonen. Watched there by Schneider, and the shot sailed wide. Kareen to Rafalski. In 20 seconds, Team USA will get Keith Tkachuk back, and then we'll have a power play. Off of Rafalski, he recovers, pushed it on through for control by Conroy, met at the line by a pair of Finnish defenders, and so it's Laaksonen again. Well, Finland has had its moments discipline-wise in this game, too.
I thought early,
Yeah.
but then they cleaned up their act.
But
Without
importantly,
question.
the skill level is so high that when Team USA has to fight their way through to get 2 goals, they're just not letting anything happen. Nothing can unfold. No power play shots on 3 power plays since earlier in the period. Rattled back around once more, and waiting for it is Chelios. Sealed up on the wall, but it is Tkachuk getting it there. Tucks a pass to Chelios. Back to Tkachuk again. Can't get free for a shot as it's spun into Numminen. Thrown back on. And not out yet from Timonen. Then forced back out to center ice, and it winds up underneath the man in a stoppage of play.
Yeah, Ruutu did the job. Ruutu was right over against the boards and able to take the puck away from being shot in and then carry it along with his body over the blue line. He did a good job. Ruutu did a real good job getting the puck out of the zone. 14 seconds left on the minor to Koivu for Team USA to try to find a way, just a way to get at least 1 goal to make it a 1-goal game.
Winner plays the winner of Canada and Russia. Sweden will play the winner of a later game in this arena tonight, Palasport Olimpico, between the Czech Republic and Slovakia. Schneider connects with Cole. Fed it back on Drury. Oh, a score! Brian Giunta at the front of the net. Looked like a broken play, but it was not. It's a 1-goal game.
There was 1 second to go on the Koivu minor. The play is put in front, the quick hands of Giunta. What an effort on the pass. And Giunta able to score. Look at this effort by Drury. Parallel with the ice surface. Parallel with the ice surface when he got the puck back in front. What a brilliant effort by him. And we have a 1-goal game with approximately 4 minutes, 27 seconds to go in the 3rd period. He stopped to try to stay out of the crease. The pass was there, a brilliant pass by Drury, and it's a 1-goal game. Ryan Giunta gets it. Remember, no Scott Gomez. He's done for the regulation part at least. He can be a creative centerman, but he got the 10-minute misconduct. What a pass by Drury. Brilliant.
Again, there are no ties once you get to the quarterfinals the rest of the way. But it's a 1-goal game now. There could be overtime as long as 10 minutes. We get an offside call against the United States. And if not settled, then they could go to a shootout. Something that you may have seen earlier between the women of Team USA and Sweden.
You know, you talk about the old saying about shooting yourself in the foot, Mike. Well, a lot of the players for Team USA have a lot of holes in their feet right now. But it's remarkable. They're only a goal down. Just 1, that's all. They can find a way to tie this up, and then you never know.
It is Conroy. But Aki Berg, and we get a halt to play for an offside. Looked like a deflection, and I guess that's the signal from the Slovak official Milan Masek. And Team USA will just make a change here. So on the offside, it will be a neutralized faceoff.
I just haven't seen much of Mike Modano, and I don't know if that's a coach's decision or if there's an injury problem. But we haven't seen him much, have we?
No, good point. Shots are 12-3, Team USA in the third. Do they have one more that will result in a goal? Oh, Solani really hammered by Eric Cole, and the two of them go at it a little bit, and the linesman steps in between. Meanwhile, it's brought back in by Schneider. Has Cole breaking a shot. It's saved by Niittymaki.
Great shot, beautiful save, and Cole was being held up by another player, or pardon me, Solani was by another player. And did Cole ever tattoo him? Cole's been great in this third period.
Matthew Schneider angled it back in. Niittymaki out of his goal, helped it back along, taken by Olli Jokinen, and Jokinen brings it back for Finland, getting away from the check attempt of Drury. Drills one that's snatched up and then lifted back out again by DiPietro. Brought back on by Doug Waite. Waite tried to force one through, got it back to Blake. Boy, he had a short rest at the bench. He's right back out there again. Jason Blake threw it around behind for Waite. Has Ralston nearby, spun one in front, it's deflected up high and pops down for Blake, ridden to the boards by Ludman. Now to the outside, it's played by Ralston. Spun right back through Blake, taken by Waite, little back pass went all the way back down. 2:50 to go, long pass by DiPietro. Blake angled it back in, quickly pitched back along, kept alive by Ralston, ridden off by Ruutu, and the puck escapes back to Rafalski. Ruutu out there for Finland, along with Laaksonen and Kapanen.
Ruutu backs up, the team backs up, and Rafalski waited for a real good line change, and Cole's back on the ice again. Every second shift he's out there.
The guy with inspiration gets a little more ice time. Gianta forced it ahead, brought on by Cole. Sent it across, and it is Lyles backhanding one that went off Niittymaki. Lehtinen flipped it, and it careened all the way back to be taken again and settled down by Matthew Schneider. 2 minutes to go. Lehtinen forced it back in. Drury back, but DiPietro comes out. Oh, and Drury got in his way, but they're able to help it around behind. Now Lyles, a long toss ahead. Blake has it there. Lobs it in, hoping for Ralston. Niemi played it back off the stick of Waite to center. Back across it comes to Lyles. 1 3/4 minutes to go. It's Solani moving in. Solani forced off legally by Lyles, and it's turned back up the boards, and Blake is there. Solani heads to the bench for a change. Meanwhile, it's Rafalski bringing it on and hammering it back in from the red line. Swirls on around near Ralston, who tapped it to the corner. Fed up the boards, but a good keep by Chris Chelios. Drive, and that one snuffed out. And it goes near the empty net. Rafalski is after it and is able to worm his way away from Ville Peltonen. Now a long toss ahead brought in by Cole. Net empty at the other end with 1:05 to go in regulation. To the outside, it's Knuble playing it. Mike Knuble dumped it behind. Off of Timonen. Played by Waite. Fed in front. Cole, 2 whacks at it. And it's cleared back down and wide. Icing is called with 50 seconds to go.
If I was Team USA, I would look at the clock. 2 more seconds clicked off before it stopped after the whistle had sounded. They are now talking to the referee. 2 seconds clicked off. That has to be looked at upstairs. There's no question, Mike. I heard the whistle and I watched the clock. Good jam play right there. Niittymaki stood his ground. He's a big kid. He's got strong legs. Makes a nice save. Now the referee Dvorsky's at the timekeeper's box trying to figure this out. Team USA used their timeout in the first period, remember, so they don't have another one available. 1, 2, 3, 4. They got 7 skaters on the ice now. They need to get one off, and they're going to see if they put 2 more seconds back on the clock. There's no question. Keith Allain, the assistant coach, was watching. I saw him put his hand up with 2 fingers showing, and I heard the whistle. I looked at the clock. No question. 2 seconds clicked off after the whistle. Now Dvorsky will go over. What they may do, yes, he's got 2 fingers up right now to Peter Laviolette. 2 seconds. So what they'll do is hold the clock for 2 seconds after the puck is dropped. Dvorsky now is telling the other coach, the Finnish coach, that the clock may be held for 2 seconds before they started after the puck is dropped. USA has won 40, Finland 26 as far as faceoffs go.
Doug Waite to take the draw for Team USA. Has Gianta tucked right behind him. But it's one back to Brian Rafalski. Rafalski walks it on. Hands on to Matthew Schneider. Drive is deflected up into the mesh.
You get away with a lot of things now in this part of the game. When Waite won the draw, there was about 3 Finns there, and they all got tackled or at least held on to. But full marks. as the big slap shot was taken by Schneider. It was blocked. Puck knocked into the netting. Now we change sides, and Doug Waite takes the face-off on the other side of the ice.
Saku Koivu for Finland. 8 shots blocked by the Finns this period. 1 goal game, net empty, 6 attackers for Team USA. Off the tie-up, they kick it in their skates. It's nudged on back and kept now by Rafalski. Forehander is knocked down by Numminen. Popped loose and then sent back down the ice again. And this one will go for yet another icing.
This time the clock stopped exactly when the whistle sounded. 33 seconds to go. Niittymaki looks up at the clock. Proper job by the timekeeper this time. He heard the whistle, stopped the clock, perfect. Doug Waite goes for another one. The last face-off was a tie. There was a loose puck. Somebody's got to get in there and retrieve the puck if it's a tie.
Waite and Koivu, one cleanly back to Matt Schneider. Shot, save, Niittymaki!
Boy, oh boy, was that a quick face-off win. Good shot, Niittymaki. The big man went down, and Cole bumped into him, trying to find or at least jar the puck loose. 28 seconds to go now. Doug Waite, nice win. Right back to Schneider. Quick shot, not a hard one. And there's Cole bumping in and trying to knock the puck loose.
Waite set again. Knocked loose by Waite to the slot, poked along and at the half-board Schneider. Brushed it around behind Timonen and lifted it further. It's off Schneider. Moves in with Jokinen. Jokinen forced it ahead. They clear but not out. Rafalski a shot knocked down in front. To the outside, Gianta drive pinball off a pair. Laid back onto Koivu with 10 seconds to go. Slithers it back down and it won't go for an icing. Rafalski in the last 5. Long toss ahead. Gianta shakes it high into the air. Back in deep. And the horn sounds and Finland has won.
Team USA played their best the last 5 or 6 minutes. They shortened their bench and they gave it a run. The Finns have had a great tournament. They're undefeated. And you can see how tight they are as a team. They did everything they could and did. They blocked shots. They worked in their own zone. The U.S. pushed them, and the U.S. also hurt themselves in this game, Mike.
They took themselves out shorthanded. They took misconduct penalties. Scott Gomez is trying to get some kind of consolation in all of this for having missed the latter part of the game and would have missed the first part of overtime for what he was saying. He was sweeping the puck. But you see the Finnish team celebrating. It might be cruel to say that they are mechanical. They are so effective. They dominate teams such as we have seen in past years from unified teams, other squads that have come in and just dominated tournaments. The other side of it is Slovakia has done the same thing. It's run its part of the table. It will play the Czech Republic later on tonight. We will have interviews when we come back. The final 4-3 Finland.